Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, one and all. Come on in for today's topic. And it's a good one today. It's a quick one. Not going to be here for a full hour or even a half hour, so it's going to be short and sweet, but juicy. Today's topic hopefully will give you guys some great tips. Today's topic is 15 quick tips to increase audience attendance and engagement on your live videos. So I just thought that was a juicy topic. I have heard from some people that is something on their mind. I am hopping into the group right now. As you guys see, I'm looking down to make sure that you guys can hear me, can see me. Drop a comment and say hello so I can see who's with me today. I see Heather. Hey, Heather. I see Hallie. Hey, Tammy, girl. What's going on, lady? Thanks for joining us. Tammy's got her coffee with her, a little coffee emoji. Thanks for joining. As you're coming in today, drop me a comment and say hello. And we'll get going here. So let me pull up my goodies for you guys. So as you're coming in, and I always love it when you guys drop a comment and share where you're watching from, because we get new people coming to this group every single day from around the globe. So I always think that's very cool, especially when you guys get to connect offline here. So drop a comment and let us know, where are you watching from as you come in today. For those of you who haven't met me yet, there are some new members to the group. Welcome. My name is Betty Kempa. I'm a business coach for coaches, a marketing strategist, a LinkedIn expert, an IPEC graduate. For those of you familiar with IPEC, I'm a member of the Forbes Coaches Council, and I am the founder of the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy. My specialty is helping what I call the corporate renegade ditch the 9-to-5 and repackage their genius into a six-figure coaching business using my signature methodology, the 5 C's of building a six-figure coaching business. So that's what I do. I work with coaches who, they're getting certified as a coach, and they're still in that corporate 9-to-5, but they have a dream in their heart and a calling, because that's what coaching is. Raise your hand if coaching is a calling for you. If this was a call, I love hearing that from people when it's their calling. Raise your a little like emoji hand if coaching was a calling for you. But those are my people. They're working their corporate 9-to-5, but something in their heart is telling them, they're getting the whisper. I call it the whispers, that this isn't where your story ends and you were meant to coach. So those are my people. I work with them to help them replace their corporate income with a coaching business and make a smooth transition from corporate to coach. So that's what I do. As always, before we get started, if you'd like additional coaching support with your business, check out the link in the copy of this post to apply for a discovery call with me. Heather, if you could also, when you have a chance, drop in the link to apply for a discovery call. And guys, again, the discovery call is so that you can learn, so that we can learn more about your business challenges, your business goals. That's your chance to ask us any questions, and we can see if you'd be a fit for the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy. It is application based, which is why we do ask you to fill out an application form. So that's it. Let's get going for today. I'm just kind of, as I look down, I'm just checking the comments from you guys. Hey, Gail. Gail's with us today. Nice to see you, Gail. Hey, Linda. Linda's got the virtual hand wave. Gail is watching from Wisconsin. Hey, Gail, very cool. I went to UW-Madison out in Wisconsin. So we are Wisconsin buddies. Very cool. Ann is watching today. Hey, Ann. Ann from California. Where are you from in California, Ann? I lived for a bit in Marina Del Rey, and then we moved out to San Francisco. Nice to have you with us, Ann. Hey, Casey's with us. Good to see you, Casey. All right, cool. So keep it coming. As you're coming in, let us know where you're watching from. Another question I like to ask people, just to kind of get a gauge on who's joining us. If you are getting certified, I know not everybody is certified at this point, but drop into the comments where are you getting certified? And we can kind of see who our certification buddies are from the various different coaching schools out there. All right, so let's get going on today's topic. Short and sweet, but juicy. This is going to give you a lot of good tips here. 15 quick tips to increase audience attendance and engagement in your live videos. And you know, this is kind of the truth. This is the real talk that I like to give you guys. If you want to build some type of following, you know, however you want to call it, a tribe, a community of super fans for your coaching business. And you know what, I'm talking about people who are online who you would consider a warm lead or a hot lead. If that is the hope, the desire, right, that you have this group of people that are warm leads, that are following what you do, that are, you know, right on the cusp of wanting to work with you, you really do, I mean, this is my recommendation, you really do want to go live on video once a week. And when I say going live on video, I'm talking about like what I'm doing, right? It's free. I go live once a week and I just serve, right, for free. So going live on video once, I mean, it's a game changer. And I know some people are kind of reluctant to get in front of the camera. I was too. For the first year, when I started off as a career coach, my first year, I actually blogged for the first year. And there's nothing wrong with being a blogger at all. But what I'm saying is, you know, once you start getting on camera and you're activating more of the senses for people, right? They can see you, they can hear you, right? They can see the textures, right? We're activating more of the senses, which helps with the know, like, and trust. So I just want to challenge you, for those of you who haven't gone live on video yet, I'm planting a seed. I'd love for you to get to a point at some point where you're going live on video. And what are we going on live on video to do? Well, you're teaching on your niche topic, right? All of you should have a coaching niche. You should choose your niche where you want to be known as the go-to expert. So what are we doing live on video? We're teaching on our niche topic. You're showing up as an expert on your niche topic. And oftentimes also we're showing up live, which is the cool thing about being live versus and again, I'm cool with like a podcast or a blog. That's usually what I tell people is choose one of three things to do on a weekly basis: blog, podcast, or live video, right? You want to kind of choose your poison. But the cool thing about live video is you get to hot seat coach. That's why I'm always like telling you guys, I'm looking down at my phone and saying, you guys, if you feel stuck, if you need help, ask me questions, right? That's the cool thing about live video is there is that element of back and forth, right? I can hot seat coach you guys if there's a topic, you know, that you need help with. So I'm going to reiterate that before I get going here. If you're going live on video, or if you're thinking about going live on video, drop into the comments. What's the thing that's holding you up, or that's been a challenge when it comes to going live on video? Drop it into the comments, right? If I have an answer, I want to give it to you today. And if I don't, I'm going to go find it for you. So that's what I love about live video is it's back and forth, it's hot seat coaching. Now, why is it important to build this following of warm or hot leads who attend and engage in your live videos? Why do you think it's important to build this following of warm or hot leads who attend and engage in your live videos? And feel free to drop that into the comments, and then I'll tell you my thoughts. And my thoughts are because these are the people who will eventually move to booking a discovery call with you. Now, not everybody, but a lot of the people that book a discovery call with you, they've had some form of interaction with you before they've booked the call, right? People often talk about, you know, the number of touch points that have to happen with a human you've never met before until they're finally ready to book a call. So live video is one of those touch points where a certain percentage of people that show up to my live videos are going to end up booking a call, right? And that's the same for you. Very, very important. Not only that, But once you get on a discovery call with people who have attended a live video, it's a very natural conversation, right? Because this person is someone who already, in some sense, views you as an expert on that topic. They already know, like, and trust you from attending your live sessions. But here is where, I often see coaches struggle, which is why I'm doing this training today. They'll say, okay, Betty, but I'm doing live videos. I'm going once a week, but nobody's attending or nobody's engaging in my videos. It feels like I'm wasting my time. And my answer is you're not. You're not. You just have to tweak the way that you're doing things. So that's what I want to talk about today. 15 quick tips to increase audience attendance and engagement on your live videos. So we're going to talk about how to expertly market your upcoming live videos so your ideal client avatars are chomping at the bit to attend. We're talking about how to get people to actually engage when you're live. And how to come up with topics that your audience cannot wait to sink their teeth into, and then how to translate those lives into discovery calls. So that is what I want to talk about today. Again, if you have questions as I'm going here, drop them into the comments. So I'm going to check the comments one more time before I get going here. Let's see. Because I was asking you guys a bunch of questions here. So Caitlin from Tampa, yep, we're neighbors because I'm out in St. Pete. Hey, Caitlin. Very cool. Casey's doing IPEC. Linda, final stages of IPEC certification. Congrats, Linda. That's a huge achievement. Very cool. Casey's watching from Minnesota. Love my Minnesotans. Smitha, thank you for watching with us today. Beautiful. All right, guys. So let's hop in here. So again, for those of you just joining, we're going to just roll down the list. 15 tips to increase audience attendance and engagement in your lives. P.S. If you haven't started live video yet, and by the way, let's do that as a question real quick. Drop into the comments. I want to know, are you currently doing live videos? So tell me if you're currently doing, say, yep, I'm currently doing live videos. Drop that into the comments. Or if you're not doing it yet, but you're considering doing it, drop that into the comments as well. Or maybe you're not thinking about doing it at all, and that's cool too. And if that's the case, tell me in the comments why you're not interested in live videos. So I'd love to see where you guys are all at, including if you're watching the replay. So if you guys could give me a hashtag live if you're here live, and a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay, that would be helpful too. I like to circle back and answer questions for people that are watching the replay as well. So let's start off with, because there's kind of two different topics here, increasing attendance, and the second, which is increasing engagement. So I kind of smushed two topics into one. So let's talk about increasing engagement, increasing attendance. Let's start with attendance, right? Let's start there. Let's see here. Yes, attendance. All right. So how do you increase attendance for your live videos? So I see a lot of coaches struggling with that. And by the way, even a couple things I do want to say. One, take with a grain of salt what Facebook tells you as far as how many people are watching. I've heard through the grapevine that that's not always the most accurate thing. So that's the first thing I want to say. Take that with a grain of salt. But second of all you need is a handful of people. You don't need hundreds of people watching to get discovery calls booked, right? Just a handful of people to be attending your videos. A lot of people will catch the replay. A lot of people, will get the replay messaged to them or DM'd or emailed. So that's the first thing I want to say is you don't need to have hundreds and hundreds of people attending. Just a handful is enough. But how do you increase attendance? How do you go from 0 viewers to, right, at least a handful of viewers? How do we increase that attendance? The first thing I recommend is to go live on video at the same day and the same time every week, right? So same day and time. Okay, so we're looking here for consistency. Now, why is that? Why are we looking for consistency? And by the way, that's whether you're going live on video, you're podcasting, or you're blogging. We're looking for consistency. Why is that important? Drop that into the comments if you know. Why is it important that we show up consistently, same day, same time each week for our people? And then I'll tell you what I think. As far as why we want to be consistent, people are busy, right? People have lives. They're working. They're building. For my people are building their coaching business. Some people are parents. They're driving their kids to and from, right? There's a million things going on in people's lives. So for them to have to remember, or each week to try to figure out, Tanya's going live Tuesday at 10, and then next week she's going Wednesday at 7, and it's like it does not compute. And the old saying is, if you confuse them, you lose them. So one of the most important things you could ever do for your business, and I'm not even kidding right now, besides choosing the niche and getting very specific with the niche, is showing up and serving. So when we talk about serving, if any of you have, raise your hand and drop into the comments if you've ever read Rich Litvin's, don't blank on me, The Prosperous Coach. Drop into the comments if you've ever read Rich Litvin's The Prosperous Coach. Great book. But he talks a lot about serving, right? You got to show up and serve. And he has some example in the book where I remember something about he met up with a client under this tree in Santa Monica. I remember this vividly because I used to live around Santa Monica and I thought it was so beautiful. So I imagined this, and he coached this client for 2 hours. It wasn't even a client, it was a prospect. He coached him for 2 hours, and he talks about this concept of serving before you ask, right? For, hey, do you want to become a client? And I agree with that concept. But the way that I go about that is in a scalable way, right? So versus, I'm not going to drive and meet you under a tree and coach you for free for 2 hours. But the way that I'm going to serve is I'm going to show up live the same day, the same time, once a week, and serve. That's how I'm serving at scale, right? So very important to be consistent. And the other reason you want to be consistent is it's a timing thing, right? Everybody that's watching this live video now, if you ever at some point do consider working with me and joining my program, the Corporate to Six Figure Coach Academy, the timing for that's going to be different for all of you, right? Some of you aren't going to be ready to join until a week down the road, some of you a month, some of you a year. And that's cool. And it's not, to me, it's not about let's convince them to join right away. We're not about that. We're about showing up and being consistent and being in front of people once a week so that when our audience does decide, hey, okay, now I'm ready to work with a coach, they're like, oh, Gretchen, yeah, she's the first person I'm thinking of in that niche because I see her every day. We're remaining top of mind. That's what it is, remaining top of mind for people. So you gotta be consistent. It can't be these ad hoc, I'm gonna go live today, same place, same time. Okay, so that's number one on the list. And I'm just looking down to check my comments and make sure I'm tracking to what you guys are sharing. Let's see here. So Tammy says, not doing live videos yet. Yep, not yet. And Tammy, remind me, are you thinking of moving in that direction? Drop that into the comments. Caitlin, yes, I do live videos. I can attest that the hardest part of going live is doing it for the first time. It's so true. Yeah, it's just getting that first time out of the way. And I always laugh and say, if you ever go back and look at my first couple lives, or I remember I did, I was going to say I did a video as a lead magnet that was I look back and look at that now and I'm like, ooh, that was rough. But yeah, the first time, just doing it for the first time is you just have to get that out of the way, and then every time thereafter it's easier. And Caitlin, actually, that's a good point that you bring up. I don't want to go too far off topic, but for the people that are nervous to go live for the first time, what I would say from a mindset perspective is, to kind of get out of your head, oh my gosh, I'm going to screw up, I'm going to say the wrong thing, I'm going to look silly, is just a reminder that it's not about us. It's not about, I could knock over my whiteboard right now. I could forget what I'm going to tell you guys. I could stumble. I could stutter my words. It doesn't matter. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's about the people we are serving. And as long as we help one person who attends that video, none of the rest of that crap matters. So that's the mindset you want to get into. If you're nervous about going live for the first time, is it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the people on the other end that I'm serving. So that's a great reminder, Caitlin. That first video can be a doozy. Gretchen, I'm comfortable and I've done them in the past for other projects, just haven't launched this to my tribe yet. Cool. Gretchen, that's awesome. So you got a leg up. And Gretchen and everybody watching, drop into the comments, what's your niche? I want to hear what niche you guys are working with. Tanya's currently doing lives. Love it. So good, Tanya. Then this will be totally relevant to you. Tammy, goal is in a couple of weeks to start going live. Ooh, I can't wait, Tammy. Can't wait for that. Hey, Justine, thanks for watching. Caitlin, all about imperfect action. Yes, it is all about imperfect action. You know it. Okay, let's keep going here. So the second tip. So again, guys, if you're just joining us, this is 15 tips to increase audience attendance and engagement on your live videos. So the second tip is marketing your live in your social media banner. And your social media banner or your description. If you run a Facebook group, we have that little section to write about a description of our group. So you can write about it in your group description. If you have a LinkedIn profile, you can write about your live in your LinkedIn profile description. So let me kind of capture that up here on the whiteboard. So you're going to mark it on your banner. And you guys can check out I actually flipped my banner to show you guys an example of this. So the Facebook banner I have right now in my Facebook group. So the Facebook group banner I have right now is an example of what I'm talking about. And I did it in Canva. I just added a little circle in blue, and it says something like, join us live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for free training. So it's as simple as that. If you want an example of how to market your live so you can increase your attendance, check out my Facebook banner for my Facebook group, the Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business Facebook group. You just want to add a little, some kind of little pop-up. Could be just like as simple as, you guys see, it's like basic. I did like a little blue circle and it says join us live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for free training. It's as simple as that. So you could market and that's again, guys, why we want to be consistent. Because if I wasn't going live at the same day, same time every week, how am I going to market that on my banner? Because I'm changing it up every week. That's the cool thing about being able to commit and saying, yep, I'm going live every week at this day and time. I can market that on my banner in my Facebook group. So that's the first thing you can do. If you don't have a Facebook group, then you can put it right in your banner on your Facebook profile or your LinkedIn profile. The day and the time that you go live. Join us live every fill in the blank, whatever day and time you're going live. You could also put this, if you run a group, in the description of the group. Hey, I go live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. So say group description. So we're talking about places, evergreen places where we can stick some marketing about the day and time we go live, or your LinkedIn profile description. You've got the About Me section, the summary section in LinkedIn. Absolutely, at the top of that, you could say, join me, every Tuesday, 10 a.m., I do a LinkedIn Live. So we'll say LinkedIn profile description, right? Basically, at the end of the day, I want you guys to think about, when you think about all your social media platforms that you currently use, where are all the little places I can throw in reminders for people? Hey, I go live this day, this time every week. So I want you to really go through with a fine-tooth comb. Those to me were like the top three. Your banner, your social media banner, if you run a group, the description in the group. If you have a LinkedIn page that you use, your LinkedIn profile, your summary section. The other cool thing, by the way, too, with LinkedIn, there's a feature on LinkedIn. it's an audio feature, and people are using it. It's a 10-second audio. You can use it to pronounce your name, so people get your name pronunciation correct. Don't use it for that. Use it to say, hey, join me every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I go live right here on LinkedIn, and I train on topics, fill in the blank, whatever your niche is. So use that as your 10-second audio. So that's the second thing, is marketing your live, which has to be same day, same time, in these different locations that I just mentioned. Another thing to consider is pick a time and day that works for your ICA. Pick a time and day that works for your ICA. So pick a time and day that works for your ICA. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm a little guilty of not following this one, and I'm probably going to have to change my ways. My ICA, most of them are working a 9 to 5, but I just kind of like to go live in the mornings when I'm fresh and it's the beginning of my day, and it just, for me, feels good. I've got sun coming in my office, and, you know, I just like going live in the mornings. So you know, that's something I'm probably going to have to change because most of my ICA is working 9 to 5. But here's the way around that. Here's the way around that is if you're like me and you're like, ooh, my people are only available in the evenings, but I don't know if I want to go live in the evenings. But by the way, I do coach with my group at night in the evenings because most of them are getting off work. That's the other reason it's tough for me to go live on Facebook, because my night times are really devoted to my coaching group because it's after they get off work. But here's the way around that. If for some reason it's a struggle for you to go live at a day and time that works for your ICA, is you can use a tool like StreamYard to run a replay of your live at the time that is better for your ICA, and that way you can pick up the stragglers that were like, yeah, I couldn't catch your live, I was at work. Cool, I'm going to run this live again at 5 p.m. at night when people start to get off work, 5 or 6 p.m. So that's kind of the fourth tip is use a tool like StreamYard to run a replay. And the cool thing is too, by the way, when StreamYard runs a replay of my live in my group, it shows up on Facebook as if I'm live. So you're still going to get an alert, Betty Kemp is live. So everyone's still, that's the thing, that you want it to show up as live, because when that happens, people get an alert that says, hey, come over here, Betty's live. Now, granted, I still am going to put in the copy that it's a hashtag replay, so people know that, but it's just the fact that it's live. It's the algorithm's going to give it a little boost. The algorithm prefers you to go live versus posting a recorded video. That'll kind of die. So that's the fourth tip is restream your lives. And Restream is another tool you could use. I use StreamYard, but restream your live at a different time. So if I wanted to, and in fact, I think I'm going to do that today. I'm gonna, you know, just so I can kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, I'm going to restream this live in the evening to pick up the evening people. So that's the fourth tip. I'm just going to make sure you guys are tracking here. Hey, Shauna, thanks for joining us. Let's see here. Caitlin's niche. I help high achieving professional women feeling imposter syndrome overcome fear and self-doubt so they have more confidence and energy and make a greater impact, live more fulfilled, joyful lives. Imposter syndrome is such a freaking great niche. I love that niche so much. Great niche. Great topic to go live and talk about. Great topic to go live and talk about. And I know sometimes it's interesting because sometimes with some of these topics that we go live on, people are shy to speak up because it's like, especially like an imposter syndrome topic, it's like, oh, they might feel nervous to speak up, and that's okay too, right? It's sometimes silent, what I call is like a silent stalker. I'll bet I got some right now. People that are watching this live that are not saying a word, and that's cool too. Those are people that might become your clients as well. But that's a great niche. Thanks for sharing, Caitlin. The fifth tip to increase engagement is market your live video that you're planning. Market that as a social media post the week prior. So the week prior, you're going to want to do a post on social media, and you're posting about the live you're going to do the following week. And here's my method. And P.S., when I'm done with this live, you guys can hop over to my Facebook profile, my personal Facebook profile, and you can see how I market this. So I'm doing this on how do I market my live videos, my personal Facebook profile, my business Facebook profile. I'm doing it on my LinkedIn profile, my personal LinkedIn profile, and my LinkedIn business profile. And it's the same post. I have a little graphic on Canva that has a picture of me, and it's a template I use. I give it to my clients. It's just a basic template, and it's got the title of my live, right? So that's tip number 5 is market your live as a social media post at least a week prior to your live. Market as a social media post. And here's exactly how I do that. And again, you guys can check it out you can check out my Facebook. I'm not talking about marketing my live within my group at this point. This is me marketing my live outside of my Facebook group. So on typically Thursdays, sometimes Fridays, on Thursdays or Fridays, I'll do a post. And the post will be the graphic about my live the following week. I go live every Tuesday. So Thursday or Friday prior, I'll do a post with my graphic. And then you always want to share copy. The first line should be a hook. And this is a whole nother training I could do, but you want to do a hook to kind of get people interested, to kind of like, ooh, what's this live about? And at some point in your copy, talking about the live you're going to do the week after, you want to share at least 3 topics that they're going to learn, right? So like for instance, if you guys go back and look at my post, I said, we will cover 1, how to expertly market your upcoming live videos. 2, how to get people to engage. 3, how to come up with topics, right? You want to give people at least 3 topics that you'll be covering in that live video. So you should be there should be a social media post. And the cool thing is, if you have a Facebook group, which you don't have to have a group to go live, some of you are going to go live on Instagram, some of you are going to go live LinkedIn Live, some of you are going to go live right on your Facebook profile. You don't need a group. But I'm just saying, for those of you who have a group like me, and I'm only going live in my Facebook group, the cool thing is when I market my social media posts and I'm like, hey, join my live, I said, P.S., check the comments. In order to join the live, you got to join my Facebook group. So guess how I grow my group? Guess how I've grown my group to over 1,000 people? I'm almost at, what is it, like 1,800 now. A big part of that has been that kind of organic marketing, where once a week I'm saying, hey, new topic, I'm going live. Oh, you want to learn about it? You got to join my group because I'm only going live in my group. So that's just a tip for those of you who are running Facebook groups. The 6th tip to increase attendance is to market your live to your email list at least a day ahead of time. So market to email list. Okay. So again, like if you're just starting your coaching business, you may not have an email list yet. That's okay. That's part of what I teach people how to do, is how to build a lead magnet, how to get people to download the lead magnet so that you have this nice, healthy email list. So at some point, all of you want to be working on your email list. It's okay if you're not there yet. That's part of what I teach my clients. But everybody at some point should have an email list, whether you're using MailChimp or ConvertKit, whatever you're using. And you should be sending an email at least a day ahead of time to your list saying, hey guys, I'm going live on this topic. Here are the 3 things you're going to learn if you join. It's literally, by the way, the same exact copy that I used for my social media post. It's the same copy. I just stick it into my email and I send that out. Hey, here's the hook. Going live on this topic. You're going to learn these 3 things. Here's how to join, right? So that's number 6. Number 7, how to increase attendance to your live videos. Create an event. You can create an event either in your Facebook group, or you can create an event on LinkedIn and invite people. Create event. So here's what I mean. In a Facebook group, it has to be a Facebook group, you can create an event in the group. And I believe, they change this all the time, but I believe you can invite up to 500 people. So, and P.S., you can have a virtual assistant do this. You don't have to do a lot of this stuff. P.S., you guys think I do all this? I don't. I have help. So you can hire a virtual assistant. If you don't have a lot of budget, you can hire an intern. But you can get people to do this for you. You don't have to do all of this. And by the way, these are tips. So I'm not even saying you have to do all these things, but the more levers you pull, the more people will attend. So create an event if you look in my Facebook group there's an events tab, I create an event, or my community manager does in my Facebook group. And we can invite, I believe it's up to 500 people. So that's a great way. All those 500 people get an invite to your event. So you want to do that. If you're on LinkedIn, LinkedIn also has a function where you can create an event. I freaking love that function on LinkedIn. You can create an event if you're going live on LinkedIn, and it's the same deal. You have a little cover thing that you make in Canva, and then you share some copy on what you're going to cover in the event. You're going to learn these 3 things. And the coolest thing with LinkedIn is if after you create that event, you can share a link. So if you have a LinkedIn Live and there's a certain link that you need people to click on, you can share the link, and then it'll allow you to invite people. And you can go nuts. You can have your VA go in there, invite. You can even search. So if you have certain job titles you want to invite, certain industries, LinkedIn will allow you to filter all that and just go nuts inviting people on LinkedIn events. So create an event and invite people is the 7th tip. Any questions so far, drop them into the comments, because I'm kind of just trying to make sure I'm tracking back and forth. And drop me a comment. Out of the tips I've shared so far, I'd love to hear which of these tips are you going to try. Drop me a comment. Which of these tips are you going to try that I've shared so far in order to increase attendance? Tip number 8, 1 hour before you go live, 1 hour before you go live, email your list. Email list 1 hour before. Okay. And again, do you have to do all these things? You don't. These are just tips. The more levers you pull, the more people will attend. That's all it is. Do you need to do all these things? No. Your virtual assistant should be doing a lot of these things. So you want one email to go out at least a day ahead of time. Like, here's how I usually like to do it. I don't always do it this way, but in the perfect world, this is what I'm doing. On a Monday, I send out kind of like a little newsletter kind of thing where it's like three what do I call, what did I used to call it? I'm blanking. It was something like 3 tips to, build up your coaching business for the week. And I'm giving people 3 tips for that week. But tip number 1 is always, hey, attend my live video for tomorrow. Here's what I'm going to cover. So bottom line is, for all of you guys, there should be an email going out at least a day ahead of time telling people, hey, going live tomorrow or going live in a couple days. Then the day of your live, You want another email to go out an hour before you go live. And I think I titled that email. And by the way, if you want to get on my email list so you can see what I'm talking about in action, so you can replicate it, DM me your email and I'll stick you on my list so you can see what I'm talking about and you can replicate what I'm doing. But anyways, yeah, I'll send an email an hour before I go live and I'll literally, the title of the email is like, going live in an hour. Will you be there? That's the title. You guys can take that title. It's that simple. And I think I get at least, a 33% open rate, which is pretty good. And then they open the email and it's the same copy. Hey, going live in an hour. Here's the link. Here's what I'm covering. Also, an hour before you go live, it's great to do some kind of like a Facebook story. 1 hour Facebook story. A Facebook story. So an hour before you go live. Now, let's be real. The best thing you could do an hour before you go live as a Facebook story is to get on video, on camera, and to say, hey, Betty here. I'm just getting ready. I'm going to be going live in an hour. I can't wait to see you guys. Da, 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 da. Now, do I always do that? No. I'm usually putting on makeup at that time, drinking coffee. But I do, at the very least, minimum. That's the best thing. I had to share with you guys the best thing you could do. But at minimum, like what I do is I'll just do a Facebook story post. So if you guys go into my stories, my Facebook stories, you'll see a post. Going live in 1 hour at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard on this topic, right? And I believe Facebook even added a feature where you can put in a link. So that's another feature as well, where you could do a Facebook story with a link leading them in. So you guys can see, we're only on tip 9. I always think these are going to be short lives, and then I go on for an hour. But anyways, we're on tip 9 here. We're hitting people from all angles. Like, get them. Like, you can't escape, like from all angles. An email, a Facebook story, a post, right, that you're going live. The 10th tip, and this is a really cool tip, I think, is what's called a community text. Let's see if you guys can see that. Yeah. Community text. Okay. 10 minutes. Let me explain what that is. This is advanced. You probably won't do this in the beginning, and that's okay. So what you're going to hear again and again from people is that it's very important as you're building your business that you are collecting emails, and the wave of the future now is collecting phone numbers. Why? Because we don't own our audience, our connection. My Facebook friends, like, that could be gone in a heartbeat. Facebook could just decide to charge for posts. Facebook could freeze my account. Facebook, as you guys see with social media, they'll mess with you with the algorithm and they'll decide, oh, cool, she's got 4,000 connections. I'm going to only show her post to 100 people, right? So don't depend on just your connections. You need to be building that email list. And now you also want to think about building a phone number list. And again, how do you build a phone number list? Well, typically you'll see people say, text to this number to receive some kind of gift. Text to this number. Like for me, when I ran my free boot camp, I said, hey, text to this number to receive a free guide. And I had like this big guide that I created to walk people through the boot camp. So they would text to that number and then they'd get a link to download their guide. So there's a lot of different companies out there that will help you with texting, but there's a company that I use called Community Texting. You do have to pay for it, so it's advanced. It's not something you guys are going to necessarily do right away, but I'm just planting seeds for you when you're ready. So I love to, and for sure, if you're texting, you got to be careful. Don't be sending people crazy texts throughout the week. They will immediately unsubscribe, right? If you're like, texting them all week. I personally, at most, am just sending one text a week saying, hey, I'm live in 10 minutes on this topic. I'm doing my free training. If you'd like to attend, here's the link. That's it. And the people that don't want to attend, they might unsubscribe. That's totally cool. Those are probably not my people then. But the people that are like, oh, cool, she's sending a reminder when she goes live. Awesome, I can click the link and get over to her Facebook group. That's helpful to people. So I like sending out that text, either, anywhere from 10 minutes to up until a couple minutes right before I go live. And then my whole text list gets that reminder. Tip number 11, I think I'm going to have to erase here. Drop into the comments if you have any questions so far. If any of this feels confusing or challenging, drop it into the comments. I'd also like to hear in the comments, which of these tips, I already shared 10 tips, which of these tips are you going to try? All right, so let's go on to tip number 11. During your live, this is an important one. During your live, you should have a virtual assistant who's helping you by tagging people in the comments while you go live. So VA is tagging people in comments, right? So when I go live, you guys can notice right now in the comments, whether you work with a virtual assistant or a Facebook community manager or an intern. You can have an intern if you don't have a big budget. Although I will tell you, there's some awesome VAs out in the Philippines, $10, $15 an hour. You could use them 5 hours a week. It's very doable, but you need, when you go live, not to be doing this in a bubble alone. You really need some help, a VA, an intern, or a Facebook community manager. You guys can check my comments, and we're tagging people and saying, hey, join us live, share the live topic, and then your VA is tagging all the people, right? So all those people are getting alerts. If they don't want to watch, they're like, no, I'm good. If they do, they're here, they're watching with me. This is actually, to me, one of the most important tips to get people to attend. If I have a day where, for some reason, I don't have help getting people tagged in the comments when I go live, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. So if I could tell you to do at least one of these tips, it would be this one. Get help. Somebody tagging. And who are you tagging? Well, whoever's in if you have a Facebook group, you're tagging people in the Facebook group. If you don't have a Facebook group, and this is a whole nother topic, but all of you guys should be using a spreadsheet or a tracking system or a CRM. All of you guys should be tracking who you're outreaching to on a daily basis. Everybody should be doing that. And if you're not, book a discovery call and think about joining the academy, because that's part of what I teach. You need to be doing consistent outreach. But why I'm bringing that up is you need to know who are my warm leads, or if I run a Facebook group, who are the new people that just joined my Facebook group, and you need to be tagging those people in the comments, okay? Very, very important. And that is happening as you're live. Like I have Hallie is helping me by tagging people in the comments, Heather, as I'm live. Let's talk about also how to increase attendance on the topic of how do you decide what to go live about? Because that's going to affect attendance. So what topics do I go live on? Okay. What topics do I go live on? The best topic you could ever go live on is the urgent problem. You want to go live talking about, now again, all of you have a niche. All of you should have a niche, but you need you guys should all have a list going that you're constantly adding to of urgent problems that your ICA, your ideal client avatar, says they want to solve. All of you guys should have a Google Doc or a spreadsheet where you're tracking the problems that your ideal client avatar in your niche say they want to solve. These are the problems I want to solve. So you need to be going live on those topics. Okay. Very, 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 very rarely do I ever have to sit around and say, I wonder what I should go live on this week. I don't have to do that. Why? Because I'm just going live on what you guys tell me you want to learn. So, side note, if you're watching this live or in the replay, drop into the comments what topic would you like me to go live on next? That's literally how I'm choosing. Is the people that are here, that are engaging, that are showing up, if they're like, Betty, this is a problem I need help solving, please drop that into the comments. Heather helps me compile that into a list, and we bake that into my content calendar. So all of you guys should be thinking about what are the urgent problems my ideal client avatar says they want to solve. If you run a Facebook group, you can ask 3 questions for people to join your group. One of those questions I ask is, what do you want to learn from this group? You better believe I go back and look at those answers when I'm deciding what do I go live on this week. The other way you can do this is getting onto connect calls with your warm leads, and saying, hey, I'm building out a content calendar. I'm trying to decide what kind of topics to go live on that would help my audience. Would you, hop on a 10-minute call? It's not a sales call, just so I can get a sense of the things you want to learn, because then I will create customized live training videos for you, right? And that's what we do too. We hop on connect calls to try to figure out, what do you guys want to hear from us? So when you're trying to decide what to go live, it shouldn't be you sitting alone in your office with your 2 cats like, what do I do today? Your people should be telling you the problems they want to solve, and you should have an ongoing list. Very, very important. Number 13, how to increase attendance is simply DMing people reminders to attend. Right? Heather Copey is my superstar gal, my community manager extraordinaire who helps me with this, and she will reach out and DM people and say, hey, Betty's going live on this topic. I wanted to make sure you knew in case you wanted to join. Right? So DM people. Don't just rely on the Facebook invites when you do the event or the LinkedIn Live invites. Follow it up with a DM. Hey, I thought about you. I'd love you to join. Here's the link. So make it personal. And by the way, you can, when you're reaching out to people in the DMs for them to join your live, do an audio. Those are cool too. They're more personal. Hey, Maria, you said you wanted to learn XYZ topic. I'm going live on that topic tomorrow at 10. I thought of you. I'd love for you to join. So you can make it even more personal with an audio. But reach out. Send people individual messages, right? And invite them to join. Another very important thing, and I'm calling it increasing attendance, even though they're not there live, especially during the summer. Not everybody's showing up to these things live. But number 14, increasing attendance, send an email to your list with your replay. Email with replay. Right. Quite frankly, I get a lot more viewers doing that. I'll send an email. What I do is I pull, and again, you don't have to do this, right? You can have your virtual assistant do this. After I'm done going live, this is a video that just shows up on my Facebook group. My VA can download that video, stick it into a private YouTube channel, and then we'll send a link to my email list to that YouTube video and have people watch it. If you're going that route where you're sticking it in YouTube, you have to include, with the copy of the video, click here to book a discovery call. Because remember, part of why we're going live each week is, it's a funnel to, hey, P.S., remember, book a discovery call if you want to learn more, right? So email your list. Hey, here's the replay. Here's the replay. And at the end of that replay on the video, there should be P.S. book a call. And in all of your emails that you send, P.S. book a call. That's part of the funnel, right? We're serving, and then we're reminding people, book a call. Okay. And then, of course, back to the DMs. So we're DM people. I mentioned DMs before. You're DMing people with an invite. You're DMing people to invite them. But then also, some people are going to say, I can't attend. I'm busy, whatever. That's cool. You better be tracking that on your outreach list. DM your hot leads with a replay. So when I talk about increasing attendance, it's not always live. It's just as cool if they watch the replay. And we get a lot of discovery calls booked from people that watch the replay as well. Okay. Now, that's 15. I told you guys I was going to give you 15 tips, and we've only got a couple minutes left. But before we hop off, I'm going to throw out a couple bonus tips. So I'm going over 15 because as I was looking at my notes before I went live today, I was like, I have more than 15 tips. So before we hop off, I'm going to throw a couple more tips at you to increase engagement. So increasing engagement, a couple things you can do. Number one, you can ask people during your live, hey, drop a hashtag live if you're live, drop a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Now, anytime you can get people to comment, that's helping the algorithm. That's helping the algorithm and potentially showing that live to more people. Because the algorithm is looking to see, are people commenting, are people engaging? If they are, then the algorithm's going to show your live to more people. So you'll want people to comment. You want them to engage. So you can ask people during your live, hey, share hashtag live, share hashtag replay. The second thing you can do, which is just kind of basic, I guess, is asking questions throughout the live, right? So you guys notice throughout this live, I'm constantly asking you guys questions as it relates to what I'm teaching, right? In the beginning, you can say, hey, as you're coming in, drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Hey, as you're coming in, drop a comment. Let me know what you're going to do for the weekend. Hey, as you're coming in, drop a comment. What do you want to learn today? You want to be asking questions throughout the middle, right? As you're sharing, as you're teaching, you guys notice that I'm still asking you guys questions as I'm teaching, like who's doing lives, who's thinking about doing lives. And then at the very end, when you're wrapping it up, kind of like a summary question, I love asking people, and I'm going to do it right now, even though I'm not quite at the end yet, but I'm almost at the end. This is my favorite thing to ask people at the end is, drop me a comment. Let me know, what is the number one takeaway? I want to hear what, out of all these tips I'm sharing, what's the first tip you're going to try? Drop that into the comments. I love that as a takeaway question. Another way to increase engagement is to promote your live videos as hot seat coaching. Because again, that's the magic. That's the magic, is this is not just me talking at you. I love reading the comments and answering the comments live. So when you're marketing your videos and when you get live and your people are, showing up, just remind people, this is hot seat. This is hot seat. And if you really want to make it hot seat, you could do Q&A at the very end. You could do like the last 10, 15 minutes is just Q&A. And you go through and you literally are hot seat coaching people through Q&A. So that's a great way to increase engagement. A fourth way to increase engagement is trying Zoom. So instead of just going live like we're doing here today, what I do during my free boot camp is I'll do it as a Zoom. I go live as a Zoom. It's much easier to engage with people on Zoom, right? You can take them off mute. You can have a literally face-to-face conversation. You can hot seat coach them face-to-face. That's a really cool way to get people to engage, is using Zoom. And the last tip, bonus tip I'm going to throw at you for increasing engagement is you can do, kind of fun drawings, right? And contests. So, you could say something like, hey, drop a comment about XYZ topic to get your name in a drawing for complimentary coaching, or you could say, hey, share my live on your page and tag me, and all the people that do that are going to get their name in a drawing for a complimentary coaching call. Or like I love to do during my boot camps, I'll say, hey, if you attend and you engage in the live, you've got to attend, engage, do your homework. I'll do drawings for Starbucks gift cards, Amazon gift cards, right? So you can gamify it and make it fun. So there you guys have it. 15 quick tips to increase audience attendance and engagement on your live videos, with a couple bonus tips that I threw in there at the end. And again, drop me a comment. Let me know, what is the first thing you'll try? I want to know. I gave you 15 tips, kind of closer to 20 tips on how to increase attendance and engagement. What's the first thing that you're going to try to increase your audience attendance or engagement? As always, and before I sign off, let me just make sure I'm checking my comments here, and then I'm up to date here with you guys. Linda says, main takeaway, to do this weekly, but all the others too. Awesome, Linda. That's actually one of the best takeaways you can have, is just showing up consistently and serving for your people. I love that so much as a takeaway. Hey, Crystal, thanks for joining us. Hey, Michelle, always good to see your lovely face. Hey, Angel, thanks for joining us today, guys. So again, drop me a comment as we're signing off for today. What is the number one thing that you're going to try after watching today's training? Because these are all different ways you can increase attendance and engagement. And you don't need hundreds of people to attend. You just need a handful, right? You just need a handful of people to attend, because those are going to be a percentage of those people that are going to book discovery calls with you, right? And that's the thing about your live. And you guys will notice with me, I mentioned booking discovery calls in the beginning of my live. I mention it in the copy next to my live. Here's a link to book a call. I've usually got Heather dropping a comment, here's a link to book a call with Betty. And I'm going to close today showing you guys what you should be doing too, right? So when you're signing off your live, as I'm about to do here, as always, if you're ready to build out your six-figure coaching business, you're ready to transition from corporate to coach, replace your corporate income with a coaching business income that you love and you're passionate about, there's a link to book a discovery call with me in the comments so we can explore whether you'd be a good fit for the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy that I run. And I love speaking with you guys. My team loves speaking with you guys, learning more about your coaching business goals and your challenges, and just exploring how we can help you achieve them. So link to book a call is near the copy of this video, and Heather's probably dropped a link into the comments as well. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and continue to please feed me the topics that you want to see me go live on, because that's how I come up with these topics each and every week. All right, guys, catch you next week, Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, same place, same time. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.